You're watching part of Beagle's XCOM 2 hands-on preview. For more XCOM 2 videos, including other missions, equipment and customization overviews, and a look at the game's smaller details, you can find them all here at the hub linked on screen now. And you can find links in the description. Otherwise, your XCOM 2 preview starts right now. Operation Warhand was a certain success, and that means it's time to raise the stakes. Our refreshed, restyled squad prepares for their next mission, Operation Ice Queen, the clandestine raid of an Advent Blacksite. The soldiers are ready, the weapons are loaded, the glasses are on. It's time to ramp up and head out.
Sky Ranger deployed.
We're in the pipe, 5x5.
Our contacts in the local resistance have shown us how to access the Advent Blacksite. The aliens worked hard to keep this place under the radar, but we don't know what we're gonna find in there. Keep your heads up. Expect heavy opposition. The Blacksite is in your immediate vicinity. Infiltrate and investigate the area. Expect heavy resistance. Neutralize all hostile contacts.
We're in concealment.
The squad confirms concealment, and we're ready to begin infiltration. Just like the previous mission, we want to retain operational stealth for as long as possible. Strangely, this Advent security fence seems aware of us, which I assume means it could blow our cover, but just chooses not to. You gonna tell anyone about this security fence?
No, I ain't no snitch.
Belle secures the high ground, and with her and Marquez taking point, the rest of the squad follows behind. With no guards or staff in sight, we bolt onto the roof before any show up. And indeed, it's there that we get our first signs of contact.
What's making that noise?
Rookie Gordon peeks out onto the street, but there's no sign of the noise. Until Jones moves up and spots a patrol.
Without the introduction of human DNA, these creatures once operating under the guise of thin men now show their true form.
No reason for them to hide. The aliens don't need an infiltration unit anymore.
We could ambush them from the roof, but I prefer to stay quiet. We move back to avoid the enemies, but they're slowly following suit. Before they get any closer, Marquez leads the squad around as we circumvent the enemy patrol path. Enemies don't zip around the way their enemy unknown cousins preferred. Their movements in XCOM 2 are consistent and deliberate, and I intend to stay well out of their way. Rookie Gordon leads us forward as we get our first glimpse of the target building. I'm gonna take a guess and say that this guy didn't hop into the goo coffin willingly. With our objective in sight, we need to keep pushing forward and keep dodging unwanted attention. But as Marquez spots for us, that'll be easier said than done. A second Viper-led patrol stands dangerously close to our front, which means we need to back off and keep flanking.
They won't see a thing.
What is this place?
The sheer volume of subjects. The brutal efficiency of it all. Perhaps some sort of weapons testing facility.
Or a refinery.
We'll know soon enough. We need that sample.
Now we know our objective. Grab the sample vial and bug out from the creepy house of horrors. But as we prepare to make an entry, the noose keeps slowly tightening, and our squad is left a mere tile from detection. And as we open the door, things only get worse. We push inside to avoid the Viper patrols, but 2 Advents and a mech mean the inside's almost as dangerous. And unfortunately for us, our time in the shadows is rapidly running out.
Affirmative, covering now.
With Advent almost upon us, it's time to go loud. and Stacy Bell is the first to bring the noise. A quick use of lightning hands lets Bell score a free pistol hit on a grunt before they can make it to cover. But as all the enemies mobilize, we've got our work cut out for us. Not to worry, when it comes to saving the world, I do love my job. And it's well past time to clean house.
Move into designated coordinates.
Rook Gordon strikes first. A quick climb puts her in place for a raised flank on goon number 1.
It's down.
One down, many to go. Jones leaps into cover and deploys the gremlin.
Making new friends.
With a quick spot of hacking, we take a 55% chance to temporarily disable that Advent mech. Lucky for us, it's a coin flip, we win. But the remaining indoor goon can't be hacked into submission, so Flores vaults over to deal with him the old-fashioned way. Yeah, Flores prefers the old-fashioned way.
Kill confirmed.
We've still got plenty of problems outdoors though, so Marquez moves to handle our business.
A ver las estrellas.
A quick flashbang neuters most of the threat from the remaining hostiles for this turn, and Bell darts into cover to line up next turn's shot, after a spot of revolvering, of course. With every enemy stunned or flashbanged, we're looking pretty good for survival this turn. Which is, of course, why some more reinforcements show up. The hostiles either overwatch or spray wildfire indoors. I'd imagine that fire's about a turn away from getting a lot more accurate, so before they get the chance, Marquez beats them to the punch.
Sentid el dolor.
Appreciating the idea, Flores joins him in some high-angle bombardment.
Bombs away.
And just to jump on the bandwagon, Gordon makes it a high-explosive hat trick. With the enemy entirely in disarray, Sergeant Bell cleans up the mess. And with their mech and half of their forces in ashes, things are looking up for XCOM. But just to make sure, we give them one more grenade-flavored gift.
Frag out.
But in retaliation, the reptiles have gifts of their own.
Me siento.
Green, gaseous goo gushes forth from the Viper's venom sacs. Again, for some people, that's a dream come true. Those people need help. The other snake pulls a David Copperhead disappearing act, and we're left with 2 poison troopers and 1 angry asp. But don't worry, Flores and Bell are more than happy to tag team this tango, as our Grenadier uses demolition to tear up her cover, and Bell uses bullets to tear up her face. Yes, the question you've all been asking has been answered. Viper ragdolls are the best. With the Lady Python laid out, it's been a short but vicious engagement that's left a squad of Advent thoroughly in pieces. With only 1 rogue reptile left in the shadows, I might be forgiven for thinking that the mission's all over, which as it turns out, is exactly what I did think.
Guessing that's not water in there. Shen, any readings?
No signs of radioactivity, no significant energy signatures of any kind. Whatever it is, it's safe to handle.
We've confirmed acquisition of the sample. Move to rendezvous at the extraction point.
Advent forces moving on our position.
With our LZ in sight and more goons about to swoop in and steal it from us, I dashed up to get an angle on the drop point. But poor naive Beagle forgot XCOM's most basic rule. There is always another pod. And another nasty patrol joins the fray, alongside a quite worrying turret on our flank.
Stay clear of those turrets. We're still not entirely sure if they're fully automated or remotely triggered.
The rest of the squad dashes to catch up, but our sharpshooter has dashed into a hell of a sticky position, with a Viper and 2 Advent stun lancers ready to dispatch her in very short order. And to boot, Jones has been left in an astoundingly deadly position, with no cover from a lot of imminent gunfire. But I never accept the no-win scenario, and neither does rookie Gordon, making a reckless dash that flanks one enemy and puts the rest of them on short notice, hopefully drawing some attention. But the bad news gets worse as reinforcements arrive. A captain and 2 more stun lancers hit the deck. Lucky for us, now it's time for the good news. This particular Viper demonstrates a complete lack of field experience by overzealously tongue-grabbing Jones into cover, which is incredibly helpful of her. But the stun lancers have less manners and make a charge on Stacy Bell. Well, Stacy Bell ain't getting tased without a fight. The sharpshooter's return fire instincts trigger, and the retaliatory shot sends the stun lancer reeling. His buddy moves in to provide some assistance, but Sergeant Bell refuses to be detained. It's the stubborn grit we need to turn this thing around, and Stacy Bell is not done yet. You come at Bell with a taser, you better make sure you hit. With her free shot from lightning hands used up, Bell briefly considers excavating the other lancer's head, but instead pursues a flanking move on the Viper. That, funnily enough, frees up her cover spot for a Marquez-style machete charge. With the Lancer dashed and slashed and Marquez earning a little bit of loot for his trouble, Bell fires from the hip. But this snake proves stubbornly slippery. With plenty more enemies bearing down on us, Flores continues catching up with the squad. Gordon's rifle won't finish the Viper in one burst, so instead, she plays the mind game, taking cover and providing some overwatch, which hopefully will scare the snake into turning tail and hiding. But instead, this adder proves annoyingly aggressive. With Bell bound, the hits keep coming, as a Lancer scores hits on Marquez, sending the Ranger into an uncontrolled panic. The panic in turn sends Marquez to an incredibly dangerous position. And as the Advent move in for the kill, things are looking very, very grim. But never say die isn't just a catchy motto, and we've still got a few tricks up our sleeve. Flores launches one of those tricks in a high-angle bombardment, and the battered Advent becomes a test subject for the Gremlin's new combat protocol ability, which Jones arranges with favorable results. Gordon moves to free Bell from the boa, but the rookie lives up to her rank with some hesitant shooting, leaving our sharpshooter in continued constriction. Advent's finest move in to push the advantage, but after a tense moment of aiming, Gordon comes good with a massive crit that turns the snake into Swiss cheese.
Dead in the water here.
We're running low on ammo, health, and throwable explosives, but Marquez is still stuck in the open, and the Advent have him covered with Overwatch. And just when we don't need it, the other Viper shows up again. Flores sprays and prays at the overwatching Lancer, but it's not to be, and we're still stuck in a considerably unfavorable position. With few other options, Jones takes it upon herself to clear the cover fire. She ducks and weaves through the magnetic barrage, leaving Marquez's path clear for a chat with the captain. Another severed goon for the scoreboard, and another spot of combat looting for Marquez. We take advantage of the kill to reposition as Bell moves to cover Marquez from a better spot. All the while, we're slowly inching towards the extraction zone, but the Viper is in hot pursuit. Luckily, it's another failed tongue grab, but then the stun lancer makes his move. Belle does her best to stop him, and her best is pretty good, but it's not pretty good enough. It's not lethal damage, but Marquez is out cold from the taser, and Jones does not handle it well. But we're not getting home by freaking out and breaking down. And as always, Belle takes matters into her own hands. Belle's hands are pretty good. The Lancer lies cold, and there's just one loose end left to tie up. Flores flanks and reloads as Gordon moves to cover Jones from the Viper. But there's no covering from some incredibly annoying projectile venom, and it's left up to Flores to exact some payback. With the Viper violently ventilated, it's well past time to get the hell out of here. Belle starts moving to help Marquez. We can't go straight for him because of that flanking turret to our left, so she loops around the rock first. The rest of the squad does their best to get out. But hell if it just isn't our day. As more base personnel stream into the building, and Flores is staring down two more goons and another Advent mech. As the Viper poison tears through Jones and Gordon, our token rookie is not handling the pressure. But I have not come this far to die now. Belle picks up Marquez and starts moving cover to cover towards an escape route that doesn't involve an Advent turret tearing her apart. Flores makes a similar dash for freedom, raising the main door to put some cover between her and the pursuers.
I'm on it.
But the door proves treacherous, as the mech moves in regardless to suppress her escape. Luckily, the unreliable door works both ways. It's a strong pick, as Jones puts paid to the Advent Grunt's charge, but his comrade avenges him with some sharp shooting. And Flores is one shot closer to an inconvenient dirt nap. As the fire bears down on our grenadier, a more callous commander might leave Flores to hold the line as the rest of the squad books it for the evac zone. But I didn't leave troops to die before today, and I'm certainly not about to start. Luckily for me, Stacy Bell agrees. A quick application of her medkit gets her ready for one last gun show. The Advent keep moving in, tearing through the door with their magnetic slugs.
I'm alright.
With the mech out of sight, he could potentially be on Overwatch, and the closer we are, the more accurate that Overwatch will be. So we use the new waypoint system to have Belle make a slicing approach on our target, ensuring any fire she takes happens as far from the mech as possible. I expected the move to put me on the Advent Grunt's flank, but it appears some line of sight rules are a little bit different in the switch to the sequel, and intended or not, Belle's got no shot on the trooper. After a quick game reload to ensure it's not just a bug, it seems we've only got one choice: bring down the bot. Flores gets in position for a shredding attack, and with her heavy weapon in training, she tears apart the mech's armor. Which makes it an easy target for Belle's lightning hands. There's just one enemy left between us and home. Jones moves into position and sends her gremlin to assist Flores. Hopefully the defense boost will keep her alive for one more turn. Gordon moves in to cover as the Advent considers his final play. It's an aggressive slide into cover, and his gigantic Gorse gun warms up at point-blank range. But thanks to the gremlin's assist, or just from good old-fashioned dodging, Flores barely lives another day. Unfortunately for the Advent, Gordon makes this day his last.
Target neutralized.
I'm getting tired of saying this, but it's high time we got out of here. The squad pushes for the LZ, with Marquez once again riding the Bell train to freedom. But Advent's not letting us go yet,
Looks like they called in some friends.
and one more flare puts us on notice of imminent reinforcements. I know that if we want to get out of here alive, we need to make these last turns count. The squad goes hard for the LZ and sets up for one final effort.
Overwatch.
A captain and two goons hit the ground running as they dodge Gordon's hasty ambush.
Watch the signs.
But the young Rook is not so easily deterred as she pushes forward for an aggressive kill.
Taken care of.
Obscured by the cliff, Gordon's safe for now, but the rest of us still have a goon and a head goon to deal with. So the Flores-Bell tag team reunites. Another demolition burst tears down the cover. And with Marquez still hanging on her shoulder, Bell's high caliber takedown handles the problem. But there's still one very dangerous enemy left as the Advent captain watches from his tree cover. Thinking that he'll stay in place and overwatch against our intimidatingly superior force, I move Jones into a concealed position where he won't be able to spot her. Well, as for him sitting still and overwatching, turns out I'm half right. It's a lesson that shows I've got a lot to learn about Advent's aggressiveness in XCOM 2. But luckily, he still panics from the amount of guns he's facing and takes an overwatch instead of a shot. But the overwatch still has us pinned, and there's only one squad member with enough health left to risk running it. Of course, Stacy Bell knows the score. When it's time to kill, you don't hesitate. Bell takes vicious fire as she sprints forward, but high-speed, magnetically propelled slugs aren't nearly enough to stop this one-woman showdown. With the fire cleared, Flores moves to assist. But as the captain dodges the dozens of high-speed machine gun rounds,
I'll get him next time.
Bell makes it clear that 6 shots are more than enough to kill anything that moves. Or in this case, 2 shots. With the Stacy Bell showdown complete, we're finally clear to proceed with extraction. We still need to remember that frightening looking turret, but with it firmly fixed in place, we can happily avoid it. Bell retrieves Marquez once more, and follows the squad as we make our escape.
Evac confirmed.
It was one hell of a mission, and every battered soldier on that Skyranger is lucky to make it back home.
All surviving XCOM operatives are secure. Firebrand returning to base.
Mission accomplished, Commander. We just hit Advent where it hurts. This was a place no living human being was ever intended to see. Happy as I am to see it gone. Something tells me the aliens won't take this lying down.
But as Firebrand touches down and the ramp drops on the Avenger, take note that only one soldier carries the strength to keep standing tall. Just barely. The one, the only, Sergeant Stacy Bell, the cleaner. Squaddy Gordon receives her promotion, and she's eager to follow in Sergeant Bell's footsteps as a trainee sharpshooter. Corporal Marquez takes a jump up to Sergeant, and with it gains Shadow Step, which you can think of as lightning reflexes on steroids, allowing him to avoid every piece of Overwatch and suppression fire he faces. With promotions handled, we begin unloading the loot. There's a good bit of gear to grab, most of it from Marquez's personal stash bag.
Having now seen the inner workings of the Blacksite facility, the outcome is perhaps even more troubling than I had expected. It is clear the aliens have undertaken a gruesome task. I will leave this matter for you to investigate, Commander.
But further investigation will have to wait until February, because with New India and Blacksite missions both conquered, that was the end of the day's XCOM 2 encounters. Well, almost the end. Because with a little time left to play, and my sudden realization that I could and should turn up the difficulty, I knew there was one last thing I had to do. One reloaded save later, and I was ready for the third and final challenge of the day, going back to the Mumbai outskirts for a little bit of hacking on Legendary difficulty. But for something that exciting, I've got to make sure that we look the part. We got digicamo, we got flak jackets, we got ballistic helmets and NVGs. We got guns, we got drones, we got knives, and oh, we got plenty of these. Make no mistake, you are now looking at a squad of absolute badasses. If you'd like to see what happens on the Legendary difficulty run of Operation Warhand, all you need to do is follow the link on screen right now. For all of my XCOM 2 hands-on videos, check out the hub links now for all the other missions, equipment, and customization overviews, and a look at the game's smaller details. Or you can find them all linked in the description. Or if you're watching the playlist, you can sit back, relax, and let the next video roll. No matter what you do, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this particular preview of XCOM 2. Until next time, thanks for watching, and have a good one.